Hi there, welcome to kneppyinvests and welcome to the 3rd of December 2024. We have about 23 minutes left of training day. I just finished recording the stock of the day, which happens to be Colin's third, and also the first video in a new series, Chart of the Day. And the honor goes to Solvar, ticker code SVR. I am training that company. And I do like how that has been performing over the past few days, apart from today, down a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so a pretty good day on the markets today. Not complaining at all. XJO up 0.72%. Pretty good day for tech, up 1.35%. And a flat day for resources, up 0.04%. So the agenda for today's video, go through the ASX today, looking the best and worst performing sectors, indices, and also companies. Not much happening when it comes to announcements, and I did struggle to come up with the top 5 stocks of the day, but I have. Number 1 was easy because that company released half-year results, so that is a stock of the day. But the other 4, are just whatever. So I have come up with 4, I suppose, interesting companies. Maybe one of them is interesting because they were recommended by Next Investors, and for anyone who follows what happens when Next Investors release a recommendation, you probably understand why the share price of that company is up a lot. And the other reason I like that company is because their name reminds me of Star Trek. Iondrive. Just because it's got the iron, I don't know, it just reminds me of Star Trek. Anyway, so let's get into the ASX today. A fairly boring day when you look at announcements, and that's typical of December's. So we are going to go through a period where the market is quite boring, and that's going to last until maybe the middle of January. We do see interesting announcements start to pick up maybe the 2nd or 3rd week of January. That is called a reporting month. So by the end of January, we get thrown to the wolves because by the end, January 31st, we're going to have a plethora of announcements to go through. Well, I will anyway, maybe not you, but I definitely will, because I tend to want to look at most of the quarterly reports. Okay, so pretty good day for December. Maybe we're in the Santa rally. I have no idea. I don't even believe in all that stuff. The market goes where the market goes. So yeah, no complaints. In fact, if you look at the day, XJO and XJO have just gone sideways. So haven't gone up, haven't gone down, which tells me nothing has really been driving the market up or down today. No news flow. If we have a look at trading economics, just refresh this. What's happening here? UK retail sales fall unexpectedly in November. Canada manufacturing grows the most since February 2023. Japanese shares rally as tech stocks lead the charge. South Korea's inflation accelerates less than expected. Oil holds steady ahead of OPEC meeting. Fairly boring. ISM manufacturing PMI beats expectations. This actually is good news. 48.4, increasing from 46.5. Does need to be above 50 though, because below 50 is contraction. New orders rebounded after 7 months of contraction in production, employment, and inventories contracted less. Anyway, let's go back to the market. Let's have a look at the best and worst performing sectors. Healthcare, discretionary, industrials, telecommunications, all up above 1%. So overall, a pretty good day, apart from IT, only up slightly, and materials and utilities down, particularly utilities down 0.4%. What's happening with utilities? Let's have a look at the individual companies within this. I'm trying to think what might have gone down today. I have no idea. We able to see. So Origin Energy's down, AGL, Meridian. So it looks like those sort of companies are all down. LGI, Contacts Energy, Genesis Energy. Anyway, so a negative day for utilities. So unless you're heavily invested in those sort of energy companies, you probably had a good day. No complaints. What else? ASX 20 up 0.81%. And yeah, let's have a look at the ASX 20. I noticed gold was down. Go back, gold down 1.28%, unfortunately. So it looks like the steam is running out when it comes to gold. Maybe. I'm just throwing that out there at this point in time. Let's have a look at the ASX 20. I would say 15 companies up, 5 down. 17 up, 2 down, 1 flat. Which 2 companies are not up or not up or flat? And those are WiseTech and Woolworths. Remember yesterday, WiseTech, Woolworths, and the other W company, WiseTech, Woolworths, and there's another W company. I can't think of it now. WiseTech, Woolworths, and was it Westpac? No, Woodside. Maybe Woodside. They were both up. They were up. And today they're the worst performing companies. There you go. And BHP's down a little bit, CBA up a little bit. So it looks like the two biggest companies relatively flat. So maybe if you're heavily invested in those big companies, you haven't had a good day. And the best performing companies, Fortescue, which is interesting because BHP's down, REA Group, Aristocrat, CSL, Macquarie Group, and Xero. So a bit of tech there. Bit of a tech flavor. REA Group, is Aristocrat tech? I don't know. Definitely Xero and REA Group I would put in that category. All right. So going through the markets, the indices and sectors, I'm going to have a look at this chart watch. I always forget to have a look because I just noticed Solvar's there. Yeah, Solvar's in that group. I want to see if, yeah, let's do it now. No, yeah, let's do it now. What is he? This is Carl Carpelingia. He has a video every Monday night, which I do like on occasion. And feature charts from today's uptrends lists. We have Premium, which is, I'm trading that, Solvar, and I do own Technology One. So I own, AMP. AMP's in this list. I'm telling you, AMP's chart looks pretty good. And where's Solvar here? Premium looks pretty good, and Solvar, does he say anything? Is there any commentary here? There's no commentary. It's just going through charts. Okay. Let's go to the top gainers and the top losers. Starting with the top gainers. Let's see if there's any companies that I might have missed, any announcements. Invian, what's happening there? Invian, IVX, up 105.6%. Invian doses first patient in phase 1 or 2 skin cancer trial. I can almost guarantee you, no, I shouldn't say that. I will say that that sort of announcement won't excite me. That sort of announcement does not excite me at all. Phase 1, 2 trial does not interest me. This could be many, many years before this company finds any success without even knowing what this company, well, we know what they do because skin cancer trial, but it might take many years before this company finds any sort of success. So I'll just have a look at the chart. Maybe the only thing that could draw me in is if I see an interesting chart. And even then, I would say Invian is a story stock. And by looking at the daily chart, even there, not that interesting. Really good volume coming in today, but share price has been a downtrend. Share price dropped a lot the last few days. And by looking at this, they must have done a share consolidation. I'd say they've done maybe a 20 or 50 to 1 a share consolidation. Let me just have a look. Completion of securities consolidation. 20 to 1. Let's have a look. 100 for 1. There you go. 100 for 1 at share consolidation. And that's why you get this really weird look in the chart. You can see on many days, the share price, according to this chart, dropped or fell by 8 cents in one day. So that just shows you there was a consolidation because now it's not doing that. Although share price is up 100% today. That's after dropping a fair bit 2 days ago, down 25% on the 29th. Okay. Let's go back to the top gainers. Iondrive, which I will talk about in the top 5 stocks of the day, up 75%. Black Dragon fell a lot yesterday. It's rebounded. Nothing else really here. MicroX. I'm going to have a quick look at MicroX. The chart for this company has been doldrums. I did a video on MicroX many years ago. MX1 maybe? No, MicroX. There we go. MicroX, Appendix 4C, financial year 21. Yeah, and I really haven't looked at this company for a while. And the main thing is I keep having a look at their Appendix 4Cs and they keep disappointing. So did they release anything today? Yeah, they did. MicroX US government development contract. So that Invian announcement doesn't really excite me all that much. This could excite me because this shows that this particular company could be developing maybe I shouldn't have said that word because they've got that word in the announcement. They could be developing or harnessing, that's a better word. They could be harnessing a relationship with a government, and it's the US government. And that can be quite lucrative if they are able to harness that to the best of their ability. So there are maybe reasons to maybe adjust your thoughts about MicroX, a leader in cold cathode X-ray technology. Is in the advanced stages of working with a US government agency with respect to a development contract. However, this stage has not received fully executed contract. Okay, that lessens my excitement. So they probably should announce this particular executed contract when it happens, not before it happens. Well, they do say, well, that's really interesting. They have been awarded a development contract of $8 million. Okay, so I don't know. I don't understand what a development contract is. Okay, so development contract comes before a fully executed contract, and they still receive money from a development contract. So maybe this is the first stage for harnessing that particular relationship with the government. I'm not sure what agency, but yeah, this could be a turning point for MicroX. So I'll just show you the chart for this company, and the reason why I haven't really been following it all that closely. Their Appendix 4Cs have been sucking recently, maybe longer than recently, and the chart has been sucking as well. In fact, the chart has been looking pretty awful since the end of 2021, or maybe even the middle of 2021. Share price did reach a high about 44 cents in January of 2021, has dropped from there to 7.1 cents right now, and that's even with the share price jumping. So based off this chart, even though this is an interesting announcement, I'm probably not there just yet. Some good volume coming in, but I'm just not there just yet. But it does sound pretty good. I do like that sort of announcement. Much better than Invian, in my opinion, because I can see some substance from this relationship or possible relationship with the US government. Also, European lithium did have a pretty good day today, unless the share price collapses in the last 10 minutes of trading or during the closing auction. They must have released something. No, they did not. Response to ASX price and volume query. I'm going to open up just to see if they did say anything in section 3, which is the interesting section. And no, they're boring. They just said no. Be creative, European lithium. Say anything. Say, maybe lithium prices have started to rebound and it's been mentioned in a few forums around the world or something. Be creative. Just don't say no. It's boring when you say no. EUR. Let's have a look at the chart for EUR. European lithium. I do have a European lithium. I do have a lithium watch list, and I'm not sure if this company is in it. It's not. I should put it in. Now, yeah, the share price has really taken off the last few days. This could be anything. It could be just noise. And I think what's happening here is day traders are getting hold of it too. That's why we're seeing increasing volume. I wouldn't be surprised to see the share price just collapse back down to where it started. Anything else here? Copper Molly. It's an interesting name. There's nothing really else there. Let's have a look by market cap. Star Entertainment are up 8.33%. Findi, really good rebound, just like Doug Technology. So I was a little bit concerned about Findi yesterday, but we have seen a really positive reaction from the market today. That's really good. So it hasn't gone back to where it was, but I think it looks like it has rebounded out of this support zone. So maybe today was a good day to buy some shares in Findi. Let's have a look to see when the share price started to increase. We'll go back to the 1 minute chart. And, it started right on open. Yeah, right on open. We saw some really good buying coming in. And I would say maybe that the downtrend might have come to an end. We have started to see some buying coming in. That's good. Maybe the selling has come to an end for Findi. The other one was Doug. Doug has rebounded pretty well. Yeah, nice little rebound. I think the share price is still in a downtrend. This could be just a dead cat bounce because the volume has been really weak. Anyway, let's move on. MedAdvisor. I was really thinking about buying some MedAdvisor shares. The share price was like 22 cents. That's now gone. You've got to be quicker, Michael. You've got to be quicker. And a few other interesting companies here. Camplify has been sort of like I wouldn't say market darling, but some people on Ausbiz Core have mention Camplify, which surprised me. Okay, so let's have a look at the top losers today, just to see if we've seen anything interesting here. Atomos, down 21%. That does not interest me. I don't think they released anything. However, they did have a really negative update the other day. And I think maybe it's just the negative sentiment has just been percolating in this company, down another 21% today. However, the share price is 1.1 cent. So if the share price was 0.9 cents, I probably wouldn't even be talking about this company. So trading update at the AGM on the 28th. And since then, the share price has just collapsed. In fact, it started dropping the day before. In fact, the share price of this company, I'm pretty sure the share price got to 4 cents at one point. Could be mistaken. Yeah, it got to 4.1 cents on the 30th of September. So share price has decreased 75% since then. Atomos, no interest at this point. And the share price keeps on dropping. I won't even glance at Atomos. And there's Merino & Co. I haven't looked at Merino & Co. since for a while now. So let's have a look at the chart. And I noticed the share price is down to when they listed. So they listed at 20 cents. Share price went up to $1.60. Now it's back down. In fact, you can't see it on TradingView. So I'm going to have a look on ComSec. When I first looked at this company, I did not like it. Not because of what they do, just because of the management. That was a massive red flag for me. That's all I'm going to say. Have a look at the management, where they come from. That's a massive red flag. And the reason that's a massive red flag of me is because of what happened in 2015-16. A lot of companies from this particular country listed on the ASX and none of them survived. And there's a reason they listed in Australia. Anyway, trade history, share price got as high as $1.50 on the 5th of November. You can see massive, volatility. Share price up and down by more than 10% for about 10 straight days. And the share price has just been going down ever since. That's a huge red flag. That volatility, the management, huge red flag. And I would say a lot of people who bought into the IPO, and this is what happened when all these Chinese companies list on the ASX back in 2015-16, a lot of the holders of these companies who had shares were Chinese nationals. And the whole reason they list on the ASX is so they can draw their money out of China. And that could be what's happening here. And in fact, I'm going to show you right now. 2-year, where's the prospectus? And that was one of the first things that drew me in. Merino Co. What they do, wool, that sort of thing, sounds interesting. Maybe this company is a little bit different because they're based out of Australia. Maybe, I'm not sure. Haven't delved that deeply. But as soon as I saw the management, I went, oh, that's a red flag. I might be being a little bit unfair, but this is just because of what happened almost 10 years ago. It was it was something that was really obvious at the time. Anyway, so we go to page 35. This would be so embarrassing if this is the wrong company. I'm pretty sure it's this company. That's not page 35. Here we go. If you have a look at the note holders, look at the note holders here. Look at the names. It's just a lot of, that's not holders. That's not, but you notice there's a lot of Chinese names there. And we have to go to 35. For some reason, what page are we? 50. Okay. Risk factors management. So you look at the management. They've got a non-executive chairman who is Australian, but that's by law. They need to do that. So the managing director, the non-executive director, the managing director, does look like they probably are Australian-based, but I'm still a little bit concerned because a lot of these other people are not Australian. I think. I could be completely mistaken. Key management personnel. Looks like, Inner Mongolia Agriculture University. Now, I could be completely being unfair on this company, but that was something that I did notice. A very big thing I did notice when it comes to this company. And then we saw that trading, a really intense, large amount of volatility, and that was a really big red flag as well. Okay, so that's Merino & Co. A little bit of a deeper dive than I expected. And let's have a look by market cap to see if any bigger companies are down. Iondrive down. Nothing of note here. There's nothing of note here. Yeah, it's actually quite boring. Anyway, so let's get to the top 5 stocks of the day. And I did have to use my imagination to come up with these 5 companies. So coming in number 5, we have ServiceStream. I haven't mentioned ServiceStream all that much. Share price actually has increased nicely today, 3.41%. They did release a contracts update at 11:49 a.m. And again, this is not a sort of announcement that will really excite me. And there's a few reasons behind that, but I do prefer more contracts with more substance to it, because there's a reason why they might have won these contracts, because they underbid their competitors, and that could have a significant impact on their margins. I've seen that happen time and time again. Anyway, so they have come to an agreement with Urban Utilities, a 10-year contract there, $50 million per annum, and also secured agreements with the NBN Co. Estimated value of $325 million over their initial terms, which is, how long was it for? I forget. Over a fair long period of time, maybe 4 years or something like that. Anyway, so it's not a bad announcement, but it's not the sort of announcement that I'll rush out and buy some shares. But the other thing about ServiceStream is the chart looks pretty good. It still looks good. I was trading this. I took profits, and I don't know why I took profits. For some reason, there was a bit of selling today. I don't know why. Let's have a look at the 1-minute chart. So there was a bit of selling on open, or just after open. When was this announcement released? 11:49. Oh yeah, that was on the release of this announcement. There's a bit of selling. Why? I don't know why. It's not a negative, and then share price recovered almost immediately. Looks like someone just sold on market to force the share price down, and then straight away the share price bounced. Really weird. Really weird ServiceStream. Really weird, not ServiceStream, the market. Really weird market, because when you have a look at this chart has looked really good for over a year, and I still don't know why I took profits. There was no reason to take profits. Share price has not shown any sales, or has not provided any sell signals. Anyway, that's okay. You never go broke taking profits. That's what you can say when you do that sort of thing. Anyway, so that's ServiceStream coming in number 5. Actually, in fact, I put that down as number 4. Okay, coming in number 4, which should have been number 5, is Anteotech. I do have sort of a relationship with this, not really a relationship, but I have followed this company for the longest time. Now, when I remember this, the thing I remember about this company back in 2013, maybe it was 2012, when I first looked at it, was point of care. They had something else going on, but it was just a point of care. And I thought, if they can sort of bring this to market, this point of care device, whatever it was, I think this company is going to be big. And this company has gone through different phases where the market has fallen in love with the company and then fell back out of love. And the company hasn't done anything really over the last 10 years. If you have a look at their revenue, very little revenue, very little receipts. They've just promised and promised and promised and have yet to deliver on that promise. And I still think they're in point of care. And when I talk about that, in fact, I'm going to have a look at the chart first. Have a look at the daily, actually have a look at the weekly chart. If we have to go all the way back, so I must have started following this company about, would have been 2012, 2013. I do remember this little hype period in the company back in 2013, 14. The share price went from, it says here 6 cents, about 26 cents. Yeah, it was. And then look at the interest in this company just fell away. Share price went from 26 cents all the way back down to about 1 cent. And then for some reason, I still don't know, there was a lot of interest in this company in late 2020 into 2021. Share price went from like 1 cent all the way to a high of almost 50 cents. And then that interest just died away again. And during this whole period, and this is what can happen to story stocks, you get increased interest, even if the company's not delivering, and that interest can die away fairly quickly. And Anteotech, I mean, they're just not providing any At this point in time, they're not providing anything to get me excited. So let's have a look at the most recent Appendix 4C. Is that the most recent? Yeah, 30th October. And let's have a look at the receipts. This is the only thing I look at when it comes to this company. Receipts 349,000. So it is receipts, but it hasn't really moved or budged at all over the last 10 years. Although they did acquire a company that had a lot of revenue, but they sold that company after about 2 years. So if you do have a look at the revenue of this company, you'll see a spike and then it'll drop. That's because they did acquire a company that had revenue, they were selling something, and they sold it because it was not successful. So burning through cash, $2 million in operations. Anyway, this particular announcement was just a life sciences update. In fact, I do remember something. I'm trying to remember if they did have a point of care in this. So this is Indian Opportunities. Oh, Anteotech. That's the other bit of technology they did have. Anteotech. They haven't really progressed that. They just mentioned here, India healthcare market expected to reach 638 billion. What is the potential when it comes to that 638 billion? It's almost nothing, probably. Anyway, so they're talking about that Anteotech. Nothing about point of care here. So maybe they've given up on that. I don't know. I don't really follow this company anymore. And the simple reason is because they haven't shown me they can prove their model. They haven't shown me they can grow or do anything at this point in time. Anyway, so that's Anteotech coming in number 4, should have come in at number 5. Coming in 3, we have Steadfast. And the reason Steadfast is coming in number 3 is because the share price is up a little bit. Steadfast updates its internal review of its strata business. Remember, there was that Four Corners thing about stratas. In fact, I watched that and I was like, gee, because I've never owned a unit or an apartment. I've just owned houses. And I've been thinking maybe I could buy a unit. And that sort of Four Corners episode was like, ooh, right, do I really want to buy a unit or apartment when you have to deal with strata, or what do they call it, corporate whatever management or whatever, what do they call it? Corporate body or whatever they call it. Anyway, so I was interested in this just to see what's happening here. And fun enough, apparently they did hire an independent person who had a look at if there's any funny things going on with their strata business. And this particular person says, no, it's all good. In addition to undertaking the internal review, where was it? The internal review has to date not found any evidence of channeling of incentives between Steadfast related entities or deliberate actions or inactions relating to non-compliance with regulatory or legislative obligations. Whether I believe that sort of thing, I don't know. Now, the reason I'm a bit cynical when it comes to this is challenging of incentives between Steadfast and related entities. I have absolutely no doubt that's exactly what they're doing. Why wouldn't they do that? If Steadfast owns all these different companies that's sort of like all related and can provide each of the other subsidiaries with business, why wouldn't they be doing it? So I do find this finding I'm cynical whether this is the absolute truth. Attached for the market's information is a summary report review of Steadfast strata insurance practices. So you go through this if you really want to, but I am cynical, and I was cynical about the practice. Well, and I can understand why they might do it. It's the whole reason why they buy, because this company has been acquisition hungry the last 5 years. The whole reason they buy different companies within this space is so they can cross-sell, that sort of thing. And what they're saying here is there's no cross-selling, which I find it really hard to believe. Anyway, it says Steadfast. Oh, I should show the chart. Steadfast Group. And this is the weekly chart. And this is actually the weekly chart of a high-quality company. So the times to buy Steadfast is when it gets to the 200-week moving average in COVID-19, and when this Four Corners show episode aired, which was in early September. In fact, the share price bounced off the 200-week moving average perfectly. That was the time to buy. And I was thinking of buying Steadfast at that point in time, I'll be honest with you. But I have AUB brokers, and I thought that'd be too much. Anyway, so that was the time to buy Steadfast. But beautiful looking chart. No complaints. I might be cynical, and to be honest with you, that's probably what I would do too if I own Steadfast. It's a business. It's a business. Okay, coming in at number 2, we have Iondrive. I just think Star Trek when I see this. Iondrive. It just sounds Star Trek-ish. I'm not a big Star Trek fan, but I just think Star Trek. Iondrive. Anyway, there must be something drive in Star Trek, which reminds me of Iondrive, something subconsciously. Anyway, share price up 67%. Now, if you have a look at the announcements, they did a placement, but that's not really what's driving in the share price. Maybe Iondrive strengthens leadership team with key appointments. Maybe it was that, but if you just Google Next Investors, and I actually am, I get emails from this Next Investors every day, maybe not every day. And here it is. Where is it? You could put your email there. Latest articles. Our new investment is Iondrive. So I received an email last night saying we're going to announce our new investment tomorrow at 10 a.m. Lo and behold, that's when the market opens. And they released this at 10:14 a.m. Our new investment is Iondrive. And this happens time and time again with Next Investors. When they announce they have taken a position in a company, the share price absolutely explodes. So I think that's why the share price has increased today. They go through why. I won't go through this all. They go through why they've taken a position in this company. It's pretty long. Why did we invest in Iondrive? They have 12 reasons. So it seems like this company has something to do with batteries. I don't know anything about this company. So they're just talking about the battery recycling market. So maybe Iondrive is battery recycling. So Ion's battery recycling technology is cleaner, greener, cheaper, recycling using deep Autectic, whatever that is, Autectic solvents. We'll explain what that is later. Well, that's good. Anyway, so Iondrive, share price up a fair bit because Next Investors is interested in the company. I might do a bit of research one day just to see the relationship between Next Investors and the companies they recommend. They did actually mention once that sometimes a company pays Next Investors for them to recommend. And I'm not sure if that's to invest. So maybe Next Investors just found this company and they really like what they do. Anyway, they also mentioned the capital raising, which they did today. And maybe the reason they invested is to placate the capital raising, which usually the share price will drop. So Iondrive, really the first time I've heard about this company, I'll be honest with you. Iondrive. And, well, this company must have been named something else. This is the weekly chart. The daily chart's going to look ugly. So even though share price has popped up today, this could be a breakout, but this could be a breakout. I'm going to say that right now. Even before this, it was starting to look interesting. And we haven't seen a lot of selling today. This does look halfway interesting. I'll be honest with you. I'm just wondering if this company has changed its name, because I have never remembered seeing this company before. So let's have a look. Oh, formerly Southern Gold Limited. So this company went from being a gold explorer. They realized that was not working, and we're going to change our what do you call it? Our business model. Yeah. And when did they change their name? Let's have a look. When they change their name, I probably could do a little choose type of announcement type, but I'm not sure what the announcement would be called. So it looks like it was over a year ago. Oh, no, here we go. So SAU back in July last year. SAU, they're starting to talk about battery recycling center. So they must have made a transition around about the middle of last year. And they're still being mentioned as Southern Gold in September. And the first time they've mentioned, here we go, change of company name and ASX code, 14th of November 2023. So this was sort of like a backdoor listing. Yes, a backdoor listing. Anyway, so it's Iondrive coming in at number, whatever it is, number 2. Coming number 1, we have Collins Food. I did a 9-minute and 39-second video on Collins Food. So I don't really have to talk about that company right now. Just wait a few hours for that particular video. Don't have to look at any charts because I did a chart of the day, which happened to be Solvar. I was going to include two companies in that video, Solvar and Resimac. So why not have a look at Resimac right now? So let's have a look at Resimac, and I was very close to, So the reason why I like this chart, two reasons. Share price has taken off for some reason the last few days. Look at the volume, really big volume coming in the last 4 trading days. Now, did they release anything? I think, if I remember correctly, they did release something. Appointment of new CEO on the 2nd of December. Yeah, so it looks like that did cause a little bit of interest. A notification of buyback, 26th of November. And it's interesting, Solvar's doing a buyback, this company's doing a buyback, and I do think most of these companies are really good value, and that's exactly when companies should be doing buybacks. Anyway, so this CEO caused a bit of interest. Is Mr. Pete Learentiz. Oh, that's terrible, Michael. Mr. Pete, we'll just call him Mr. Pete, a CEO. He must have had a pretty good background. So the previous CEO is stepping down. So this Mr. Pete, strong focus on brokers, quality customer care and solution. What's his background? There's no background here. Maybe I'm just going to... Oh, wait there. He joined Resimac on the 12th of February 2024. Is currently the Chief Strategy, Products and Operating Officer. But I would prefer to see a bit of a background before that. But anyway, the market likes it. The chart looks pretty good. I like the chart. This is a potential breakout. Anyway, let's have a look at some of your comments. I do have a bit of time. I'm no rush today. So I've already talked about Solvar. Sensei is doing his nice, what do you call these emojis, whatever you call them. So I just like that. Promotion, number one stock on the ASX is the CBA. Well, how do you define number one? The most valued company. Is it the most valued? I'm going to have a look. The way to look at this is list of ASX companies on market index. And yes, CBA is. It's actually by far bigger than BHP. Now, so in the last year, share price is up 50%. But is this the number one company? I would say no. It's the most valued company in terms of valuation, the most highly valued company, the biggest market cap. But does that mean it's the number one company on the ASX? I would say no, without doubt. I think it's significantly overvalued. But anyway, the number one stock on the ASX is the CBA and has been probably for 6 months, ever since iron ore prices dropped. Once again, thank you for an inside video. Okay, so I would definitely not buy CBA. That's just me. I just don't think you're going to see any sort of return, any sort of good return over the next few years, because the share price has increased 50% in a year for a company that is not growing. How are you going to get a return out of that? It can't keep on going up like this. It'll be the most expensive company in the history of the world. Probably be the most expensive company in the history of the world when we're having a discussion in 5,000 years. We'll go back, well, remember 3,000 years ago when CBA was valued at this. Wow, what were people thinking? Anyway, hard worker says, you took position in Orthocell. Oh, what's happened to Orthocell? So what I've done is taken a initial position in Orthocell, and if I see further interesting charting with this, I'll add to my position. So not a big position, that's what I do. I initial position, and then if I like or continue like what I see, I'll add to my position. So currently I'm up. I'm up by a little bit. Today the low was 82.5 cents. I wish I showed a little bit more patience. Now I thought maybe there might be a little bit of drop today because we did see a bit of selling yesterday, and we have seen buying today. So selling yesterday, and we've seen buying today. The reason I'm saying we've seen buying today is because the share price is at 88 cents and the low was 82. So when the share price got to 82 cents, we saw some buying coming in, which is natural enough because 2 days ago the share price was 82 cents. Okay, so anyway, I'll go back, and hard worker, while I decided to go for RNV on the same day, both companies with university backgrounds, what do you think of Renerve, RNV? Nothing. I know nothing about Renerve. Absolutely nothing. This is the first time I would ever have had a look at Renerve. Is this a recent listing? Let's have a look. It's a recent listing, that's why. Yeah, that's the main reason I've not had a look at this company. It's a recent listing. Admission and quotation, 22nd of November. Yeah, so I'm going to wait. Before I have a look at this company, I am going to wait. I never, ever buy into IPOs until either the company releases the first round or first lot of results, or the company releases a trading update. I'm assuming this company has something to do with nerve. So nerve repair, and I doubt they have any revenue. So they are pre-revenue and they're dealing with nerve repair. Maybe they could solve paraplegia or quadriplegia, transforming nerve repair through science. Oh, there you go. I'm not a stupid person. I can read names. Well, I can determine a name, what a company does just by their name. It would be interesting if they are, here we go. Renerve currently has one product in market. Oh, there you go. They have one product in market. That makes this company way more interesting to me than a pre-revenue company. They have one product in market with a clear commercial pathway for FDA clearance of 3+ products over the next 4 years. Okay, so this company is by far way more interesting than a pre-revenue company that has no products on market. So how much revenue do they get? Nice company history. The other thing I like to see is when a company just lists or recently lists, I like when they issue a presentation. I love this because the other way I could get information on this company is have a look at their prospectus. 130 pages long, but I probably would do that, but we have a presentation. Anyway, so it does look interesting. Global nerve repair biomaterial market, pretty high. You would expect that. Renerve's opportunity. So they have something FDA cleared. Oh, total addressable market, 314 million in 2024, 975 million in 2030, used on damaged or transected nerves with no gaps or gap closure. I wonder how much they're selling that for. And looks like the ones that they are targeting for FDA approval have particularly Renerve nerve conduit has a much more bigger, that's terrible grammar, has a much bigger total addressable market, 3.2 billion by 2030. Okay, I am way more interested in this company now. I wonder if they do have to, I'm just going to see if there's any financials in here. Now, one of the reasons why they might have listed on the ASX, or maybe I should have some sort of picture warning. Some of these pictures might make you sick. So the further I go down without seeing any financials, the more likely there's not much revenue. Because if they had really good revenue and they were profitable, they put that near the top. In fact, they've got no financials at all here. Okay, so let's have a look at the most recent annual report, 2024. And probably should see how much revenue they have fairly quickly here. If not, we'll just go here. Now it's notes. How much revenue? Let's see, $177,000 of revenue. Okay, so they have some other revenue. Movement inventories, that's not revenue. So not a lot of sales. So it's a fairly small company right now, but at least they are selling something. So I definitely have this on my watch list just to see how they go. I don't have this in my watch list just yet because it's a recent listing and share price is up and all over the place for right now. And I'm going to put this into my IPO watch list. My IPO watch list is companies that have IPO'd. And when I do research on that company, I'll put them into a new watch list. So if you have a look at my IPO watch list, it goes back a long time. I've got companies who listed 5 years ago who are still in that list. And more than likely, if I have a look at them and I just don't like what I see, I just eliminate them. But if Renerve releases a really good, maybe they get FDA clearance or they release a really good Appendix 4C, I might have a closer look and then I'll take them from my IPO watch list into my health watch list. Anyway, so thank you for that. Hard worker. You have provided us with a new company to follow. Rick Thellian says, was going to ask the same question. Thank you. Okay, you're welcome. Rick Thellian, thank you. Metcash was up more during the day. High was 328. Also, supermarkets bashing. Metcash supply IGA Foodworks, not owned by Metcash. But they had all this what do you call it? The logos for all those in their presentation. By the way, Metcash was up a lot today, I noticed. Like 6%, 7.52%. That's actually really interesting. So we've seen a really positive reaction from the market today. So I would say more than likely there was a broker upgrade today for Metcash. And that can happen on days like this. So I'm not interested in the chart just yet, but it's definitely looking better than it was just not that long ago. Mutasimaze, what do you think about buying HCW now? They seem to be buying back their shares, which for me is not always a positive sign. If a company is really overvalued and they're buying back shares, I think that's terrible. They should not be doing that. HCW, what's that? That's Home Co. Ware or something. Is that a REIT? For some reason, I just think this is a REIT. Healthco, healthcare and wellness. So this is a REIT and they're focused in healthcare. So maybe hospitals, that sort of thing. And they are doing a buyback. So I'd say, first thing I'd probably do with this company is have a look. So I would go back, have a look at, I'm going to go back further. Go back to the most recent results, have a look at their announcement, have a look at their net tangible assets, that sort of thing. So net asset revaluations, 2.3% increase, 12.2-year WALE, 99% occupancy. So provide critical healthcare services and supportive demographic fundamentals. Here we go. Net tangible assets of $1.64. So current share price is $1.11. So we're talking about what's that, 50? That's a 33% discount to net tangible assets. And I don't think it's going to fall all that much, to be honest. Gearing of 32.5%, that seems fair enough. They also have a range, and that's within the range. FFO of 8 cents and distribution of 8 cents. So it looks like 100% DPU from FFO. And they're guiding that to increase to 8.4 cents, a nice 5% increase, which means this company has a pretty big dividend yield or distribution yield. So 8 cents, so 8 divided by $1.11, so it's like a 7% yield. Let's have a look at that. So 7% yield, exactly. Let's have a little chart. Okay, so probably the only negative thing I could probably say when it comes to healthcare and wellness is just the chart. Share price in a downtrend, but I would say at these levels of valuation or nice dividend yield will probably help maintain or prop up the share price, at least at these levels. If I saw the share price get down to these lows, $1.06, I don't see how it could fall much lower than that, to be honest, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so Healthco, healthcare and wellness does look really interesting. Yeah, I could definitely see why someone would be interested in buying that company or this REIT right now. Rick Thelian, thank you. Metshare retail trade came in today, up 0.6%, only expected 0.4%. So again, how results compared to expectations can drive the share price up higher, even if the difference is only by a little bit. So maybe Metcash revealed that yesterday. The crypto bots below. Okay, yeah, I get a lot of this. So every single morning when I log on, I have to delete comments because those crypto bots come on and just spam. And I can tell. And the reason I can tell is if I go to all the videos, I have to decrease the font size. And I can tell just by comments. Now, 13 comments on my answer reply video, that's sometimes fair. But if I see like 19 comments here, that's probably fair as well. But if I see like on this video today, answer reply, how to find or company's announcements. If I see 15 comments, I straight away know there's one of those crypto bots. So what it is someone just mentions something, and then within 5 seconds, you have 10 replies. And then they also throw in some sort of name in there. So I delete it and then also report it. But it always comes from different people. It's just do a better, YouTube. Maybe I'm being a bit unfair. Okay, that's all I got for this video today. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. And otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. So if you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.